Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with My Hero Academia Season 4. We're on episode 5, and in the last episode it was a very heartfelt one, because it was basically the whole thing with All Might. We got a lot of backstory, with sort of Night Eye and how he used his foresight on All Might to see the future of what would happen to All Might in the end. And that he saw that he was going to die a really gruesome death if he was to carry on. And yeah, there are some things that I sort of need to sort of kind of clear up because I missed on the episode last week, episode 4, that that I just didn't catch the first time. So I think the whole idea is that Night Eye isn't sure that he can change the future, but he wants to try because he loves All Might that much, so it's not 100%, but it is something that they can sort of work on, because Midoriya did ask that he go see Night Eye and sort of redo the foresight thing now that it's closer to see what's up and what they can do about it if they can. So yeah, it was a very emotional episode, and I love those moments, especially with Midoriya and All Might. Like those are some of like the best sort of most heartfelt moments of the show. So I really love those moments. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think there's any... Oh yeah, Shigaraki has come to talk with Overhaul about possibly joining. Now, I think he's obviously going to join and sort of, and go along with it. But I think the idea is Shigaraki's going to, try and get his own back on what happened when the first time they met. So yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that. But I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So we're just going to get in episode 5 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 5. Fucking great episode. I love that. I love the fact that the entire episode was based around... I mean, mostly it was Kirishima that took the spotlight as well, but I'll just give a cheeky mention to Sue and Ochako as well, because it shows that, again, I've praised this show for not just sticking to the sort of the one character or like the main characters that were already at the top, and just going with them all the time. You know what I mean? Being able to deviate and make you care about the side characters of the show and elevate them to a degree to which you care about them just as much, which is fantastic. Kirishima was already like one of those characters that I love anyway. I mean, aside from the fact that he's my favorite boy, Bakugo's best mate, I just think he's a character that like sort of wants to be manly. He's the one that wants to be going ahead and protecting everybody else, but it seems, especially within this episode, that he has trouble with with feeling that he's not good enough, or that he sees everybody around him who's able to to go ahead and do things that he would struggle with, which is interesting. I feel like it's almost like it's the opposite there. Now, I want to delve into that little flashback that we saw, because I'm positive that was Mina, right? I'm positive it was. From her behind, you can see her horns and whatnot. So something has happened. Either I feel like this is something that Kirishima and Mina were part of the same school before they went to UA. I think. I think that must have been what it is, or it was something that we didn't see happen at some point. That they've been to UA. It seemed like the way that the flashback went was Kirishima saw something going on. He felt like he couldn't do anything to help, so instead he just froze and he felt like he couldn't do anything. And then it seemed like Mina almost went into to try and help. That's what it seemed like. And then there was this massive rock dude that looked like a more, expanded version of Golem from Pokemon, and slamming somebody into the side of a building. But I doubt it was Mina though that was slammed into the building. It was hard to put those into order. Like, what happened around that situation? I'd like to get more. I hope we'll get like more of a backstory on Kirishima. You know, because right now he's up there with like the characters that I care about the most. So that's cool. So where do we? Right. So it started off fucking unbelievably. We were straight into the fucking action. So we had two people with giantism quirks that were fighting. It didn't really explain why they were fighting, other than possibly the fact that they just had the same quirks and they were, you know, they were having a pissing contest. And then Hado showed up. I didn't really get her. I didn't see if did we get her hero name? I'm not sure we did. We got Ryukyu, or Ryukyu, I should say. I don't know if we got. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of running low on time, so I can't really, you know. But her quirk was Surge. Now we saw her sort of like give off sort of like these waves of sort of energy, almost like almost like sound waves. It looked sort of similar to what Thingy had. What's his name? I can't remember his name. The guy that was from the different school that was in the provisional license exam, who also had to retake it. The one who was against Todoroki and stuff. I thought it was possibly something similar to that. But it was cool to see them fight anyway. So yeah, it's of course that was what was happening. I mean, I figured that everything that Midoriya was having with Mirio, you know, going to work for an agency with Mirio and his agency, that when Ochako, Sue, and Kirishima got called by the other two of the big three, this is something that they were heading towards. So yeah, so Hado, she works for an agency with the number 9 hero Ryukyu, who is the Dragoon hero. Now, I'm not familiar with what a Dragoon actually is. I've heard the term before, but I've never really gone into exactly what it is. It's like a Final Fantasy thing that I've heard it in, but Dragoon, a member of any several cavalry regiments in the British Army. I didn't even know that. Fucking hell. Mounted infantry kind of thing. So that's all it's really cropping up right now. So I don't know. Maybe she has like I don't know. Maybe she has a horse that she rides that we just haven't seen yet. But that's all it's bringing up. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, pretty cool. Anyway, I didn't get the other guys. The fat gum. I'm not sure if it brought up what number he was. But yeah, so Kirishima's under his agency, along with Amajiki. By the way, Amajiki has an incredible quirk. I think he might have my favourite among the big three. I haven't really, you know, seen exactly to the degree of what Hado's can do. But, you know, I mean, Mirio's is great, and there's no other power in the show other than, like, you know, like that one. But Amajiki's is great. I love the fact that, depending on what he eats, can change what he can manifest and use. I was a bit sort of confused as to what was happening when he first used, like, you know, his fingers turned into tentacles and he used them, because I was thinking, like, nothing tentacle wise sort of fits with what his character is. But yeah, then they described that because he ate certain things, that's what he can manifest. It's a great quirk, and it sort of just allows for so much, like, you know, variables in the way that he can take on fights and stuff like that. Although it would help to obviously prepare beforehand, just so you know what is happening. If he can keep, like, stuff like on his person that he can eat from time to time to change stuff up on the fly, that'd be great. But yeah, we'll have to see if anything comes of that. But I want to see him, like, in more fights, just like doing different stuff. That being said, as well, with Ochako and Sue as well, I love the fact that their whole team up thing that they've got going on, that they actually have a move that they have together, which is great. I love that. It makes sense as well, because them two are, like, the best of friends as well, aren't they? So it's cool that they have, like, you know, they were making their own special moves but they have one that they can use together. So that was really cool. Right, what else can we get into? Yeah, so the teaming with Night Eye's agency. So the Ryukyu agency, they've confirmed that they are working with Night Eye's agency, so that team up's going to be inevitable anyway. When it eventually comes to a head and we have, you know, some fights and things that are kicking off, you know, you've got to assume that, you know, you've got the likes of Deku and Ochako and whatnot and Sue all together. Now, it's great because I think, you know, it all goes hand in hand with Sue being the ultimate, like, support hero. Who was it that said that? Was it it was the healing lady, right? I can never remember her name. Every time I go, I try to remember, I can't remember. The old granny that heals everyone. I think she said it, right? Like, she was the ultimate support hero. And she is. And I think because she always, like, in a one-on-one situation, she may not be the best, but being able to work with others, like, that's her strength, I think. And you know, and it you know, that goes along with the fact that, you know, she's got a special move alongside a friend. Also the fact that, you know, back to when shit was kicking off back in the first season, she was with Deku, you know, on the boat and whatnot, and helping out there and supporting there. And I can see it just being a thing that continues with her character as well, you know, going forward, especially considering the fact that, you know, the agencies are teamed up with Deku. Now, it possibly could be a thing where you have the Fat Gum agency also joining in to team up. You know, Night Eye did mention other agencies, not just one agency, so there's got to be other ones that are involved. And also with Tokiyami as well, and Hawks, that would be a really cool one. But with him being like the number 3 hero, I don't know if. I mean, it seems stupid to say that, like, the overhaul situation right now is not severe enough for the number 3 hero to get involved with it. I mean, I feel like it will obviously ramp up to that point, but as of right now, because overhaul isn't really, it's not certain what they are up to right now, that it doesn't call for that kind of aid. But damn, it would just be sick to, especially to see what Hawk can do as well, with him being the number 3. He's got to be pretty good. but yeah, it's gonna be sick as well to see how Tokiyami, like, how he to a point where he gets to, like, whenever he comes back, and I want there to be a time where Tokiyami pulls something out of the bag that you're just not expecting, because you haven't seen him. It's almost like it's almost like being on the fence of, like, well, I want to go see what he's doing, and I want to see him sort of work with his agency under Hawks, but I also think it would be sick to just, like, almost like forget about, like, Tokiyami and what he's doing, and then all of a sudden he shows up with some fucking amazing shit. It would be awesome, because those are the moments you just live for. They're the best. It's like exactly what happened with Kirishima this episode. Like, I want there to be something that just, anytime it just something comes out where you're just not expecting it. Kirishima, unbreakable mode. That was, dude, he looks so amazing. He looks so cool. That was great. He has that epic moment that not a lot of other characters do. I know that, like, from the show, that there's, like, you know, we've had all of the sort of the students have a moment to shine, but they all of them haven't had that epic moment. You've had, like, you know, you've had the likes of, obviously, the Midoriya, Bakugo, Todoroki, Ida has. Who else has had that epic moment? I don't think anybody else has, but now Kirishima has. I'm trying to think who's had that. Who has? Kirishima's sort of been in the background, though, especially when they were at Kamino Ward, and it was just before, like, when they were rescuing Bakugo, like, he was involved in that whole thing. But this is like, you know, this is like a 1v1 situation where he's like, you know, he's just had that moment where, you know, with the music. I just love it, man. I love it. I love the fact that he's Kirishima's up there now. So fucking cool, man. So yeah, Amajiki's hero name was Sun Eater, which I get to eat that part. Sun? I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. But yeah. What else? Yeah, so we've got the whole thing of them injecting something to boost. For a second, I thought it was. I thought it was like a sort of like an experimental type liquid that was made with Himiko's quirk, or Toga's quirk, right? Because she uses blood from others to sort of change into somebody else, right? Now I was wondering if it was sort of like an offshoot of that, because at first I thought it was Moonfish's quirk because the blades were similar and the way they were, you know, mangled and stuff was very similar. The only difference was with Moonfish's it was just his teeth, you know. But I got that wrong. It's just because they look very similar. I was so fucking, you know, I just come up with a theory on the spot and I was like, that must be what it is, and then it just wasn't. But yeah, I mean, I guess so, because the idea is that guy was part of like the, you know, the mafia, like the sort of grunts of the mafia that Shie Saikai, whereas, you know, Toga and Himiko, you know, Toga and Himiko, it's the same person. Himiko is part of the League of Villains and they haven't gotten together yet. But that is good, like, you know, about to happen. So transitioning into that, Shigaraki basically saying that, you know, they want a joint partnership or it's nothing, which I think is fair. I think it's fair to say, like, you know, just for this guy to come in and just say that he, you know, is the leader now, it's a bit fucked up. So, you know, it makes sense with a joint partnership as well. But also coming in, he has balls. Shigaraki coming in basically asking for compensation over what happened the last time they met, because it clearly wasn't even. That's cool. So yeah. So he has the guys coming around, like, you know, the like his own mafia lot going around, sort of using this, you know, stopping quirk activation and stuff like that, and whatnot. It's very like sort of it's like Overhaul is sort of, he's just getting shit done on such a low level that, you know, like the likes of Night Eye's agency are able to sort of kind of put the pieces together, but because he's doing it like so, like, not even like sporadically, but well, yeah, sporadically placed over the whole city, that it's kind of like laying the groundwork for things that are just about to happen, so that when shit does go awry, he has the advantage. So yeah, it's when it kicks off, it's going to really, really kick off. And yeah, and that's that. The other thing I really want to quickly talk about was the fact that with Shigaraki in that meeting, it showed two of the other guys, right? Two of the, you know, the guys in the cloak and the doctor's masks or whatever. It came up with the subtitles Chronostasis, Shihei Hisaikai Aid, and that was the guy in the sort of the white cloak. And then the other one, it came up Mimic, that's the little dude, right? The Shihei Hisaikai Director, and then Crab. But when Overhaul sort of talked to them, he called one of them Kurono, and then the other one was Mimic. So Mimic is the little dude, right? That's got to be his name. I don't know what Crab means, unless that's like the name of his quirk. I don't know. But then Kurono, known as Chronostasis. So I guess Kurono's his actual name, possibly, and Chronostasis is his... well, it's not really his hero name, it's his villain name, I guess. The name that he uses as his, you know, as his whole thing. But yeah, I mean, it just said that he was the Shihei Hisaikai aide for Chronostasis, but it never mentioned anything after that. Whereas with Mimic, it said that he was the director and then Crab afterwards. I don't know what Crab is, and they didn't talk about it, so I don't know. Maybe it'll come up again at some point. They talked about the secret ways into the Hisaikai hideout, which is the tunnels underground of, you know, Shigaraki basically saying, I'm not an ant. So that is the reason why in the last episode that Overhaul was saying that there's less people coming in and out, and that sort of ties into that. They've got tunnels underground that lead up into it, so they can enter the hideout and leave it without, going out through the front entrance and whatnot. So yeah, it's quite clear, I think, that they know that they're being watched, heavily. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Night Eye figures that out. I mean, paired with the fact that it was a bit suspicious with the whole Deku, Mirio, and Overhaul meeting last episode, that it could spark like something in Night Eye's head to be like, there's got to be other ways in. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else though. I think that's all I've got. I'm kind of like in a hurry right now because I've had to do a lot of recording today, and yeah, so I've run out of time. So that's all I can get. But yeah, I tell you what, that was a really, really cool episode, a really fantastic episode for a group of characters, mainly Kirishima, to have their own time to shine. It's one of the best things that I love about this show. So yeah, that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there. And I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you don't want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier for $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early. There is the $10 a month there for full length, so if you do want to watch this episode in full, then you can do by becoming a full length tier patron. And there's other tiers there where you can pay to have me react to a certain show as well. So if you want me to react to a certain show, then you can do, and go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that is all I've got, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.